Hey ghouls, Terry Krueger, the sweetest psychopath you'll ever meet, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Terry Krueger, bringing you another horror movie review. So last night was the premiere of The Black Phone, and I went to go see it, and I was super excited for this film. I had been waiting quite a while for it to come out, and it kept getting the release date pushed back. I'm not sure why. I did do a trailer review for this film a while back, so you haven't seen that. I'll go ahead and touch up on some details I talked about in that I will drag over to here. So the movie is based off a short story written by Stephen King's son. I believe he goes by John Hill. Kind of more of like a suspense, supernatural, like thriller. I really enjoyed it. Spoiler alert, me and my friend both really liked the movie. And also, I'm going to go ahead and be spoiling a lot of the movie here, talking about it. So if you have not seen it yet and don't want it spoiled for you, then come back and watch it after you've viewed it yourself. So, it does take place in the 70s. Oh, and one of my favorite things about the movie, Tom Savini actually created the mask that the Grabber wears. If you're not familiar with Tom Savini, he is a horror icon legend. He is a special effects makeup artist and actor. He created Jason's face from part 1. He's done a shitload of makeup for horror movies. Night of the Living Dead, Friday the 13th, Creepshow. Like, I mean, the list goes on and on. This man is fucking amazing. He's also Sex Machine and Dusk Till Dawn, if you recognize his face more than his work. That way. Yeah, he's just iconic. He's a legend, and I fucking love Tom Savini, and I was super excited to just learn that he made the mask for this film, and I thought it was super cool. The director, oh my god, I forgot his name, but I know he did also Sinister, which was another amazing horror film, and he did a Marvel movie. I'm not too sure which one. I don't really watch like the superhero movies unless I'm dragged to it by my friends or something. The movie does take place in the 70s, so I love that it gives you that kind of retro 70s vibe, especially because nowadays you think of how the kids are left by themselves a lot and walking home. That doesn't really fly these days. For obvious reasons, what happens in this film. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking, just ignore her. She's acting up. And one thing I really did love about the film is it had such great character development. So I love when horror movies do that. So you actually give a shit who dies or when something bad happens to someone in the movie. I feel like a lot of horror movies kind of forget to give these characters I don't know, just a personality or something, more than just to be a body killed, which means I don't mind just a random person there to be killed when that's the point of a movie with it being a slasher. But in this case, it's more of a suspense, supernatural thriller, and you kind of want to get that little connection with the characters before the bad shit starts happening to them. So yeah, the kid doesn't get kidnapped right away. There's kind of a serial nabber or kidnapper, whatever you want to call it, going around town, so a lot of boys do go missing beforehand. Sorry, the dog's barking. The first one that they show that gets taken is actually a boy he was playing baseball with from the opposite team. And throughout the movie, she has these psychic premonitions, and they kind of reference that she gets it from the mother, because the mother apparently in the movie has died. I believe they say she killed herself, but they never really go too far into the mom and her visions or what she saw, because the dad gets upset that the little girl has these visions, and they touch base on a little bit of it but don't go too much into it, which I found kind of weird, because a lot of the movie was kind of that's how she's helps find him, because she has these dreams, and she kind of sees clues to where the boy's being kept and all that. But anyways, in the trailer shows a part where he does get nabbed. Ethan Hawke gives an amazing performance, just very creepy. And I love this thing he does with his voice as he's talking to the kid. He has this nice, soft, friendly voice, and then at times it just immediately changes into this deep, menacing, angry voice. He played a good psycho. And yeah, just the whole interaction with the boy, it's just so weird. I mean, they don't necessarily say what he does to the boys. He kind of has this whole plan, because once he gets kidnapped and put into the basement, the first call he gets from a victim is from Bruce, the guy he played baseball with, and he lets him know. Sorry, my dog ran into the camera again. So as he gets calls from these other kids, the other victims, they're kind of giving him tips on what they were doing to escape and how they almost got out. The first kid does tell him that he picked up all these towels off the floor and was digging a hole trying to get out. The other guy was using this rope to try to climb up a window, breaking walls and all this stuff, etc. At one point, he notices that the grabber leaves the door open, so he thinks that's his advantage to like escape. And as he's about to, the phone rings, so he goes back to answer, and the other kid on the line, who's a dead kid, tells him, don't do it, it's a trap. He has that set up to see like what you're gonna do. If you go up the stairs, he's actually waiting at the top of the stairs for you, and he's gonna beat you till you pass out. He's like, so don't go up there. So the little boy doesn't go up there. I remember that part of the movie we were watching it because he finally feeds the kid, and since it's the 70s, Cokes and stuff came in like glass bottles, so he gives him like scrambled eggs and like a glass bottle of Coke. And I was telling my friend, like, I would have gone ready up there, but I would have fucking had that bottle ready to use as a fucking weapon to like bash him in the fucking face with, or break it and stab him in the throat. I mean, the kid's like 14, it's a grown-ass man, but I mean, I would have done something to try to fight back. I mean, he does stab him with this little like rocket pen he has in the beginning once he gets kidnapped. And my friend was like, oh, that's smart thinking. It's like, I was like thinking I would just like try to run up the stairs and get out as fast as I could. I was like, no, you gotta take a weapon. Always gotta take a weapon. So yeah, then he starts getting called about, there's a combination lock on the door, the kid gives him the numbers, and one of the weird things is like the kids are helpful, but of course for the movie to be more suspenseful and all that stuff, the kids don't necessarily like remember, so apparently after you die you just forget a lot of stuff, like you don't really remember your name or who you are. So when he tells them, like, I remember I wrote the number on the side of a wall, I just don't know what order it's supposed to be in or whatever. So there's a part where the kid does make it upstairs, and see, I thought the trailer was going to give away a whole lot of the movie, because in the movie it does show the kid like running out as the grabber's chasing him and takes him back. So there's one part where he finally gets upstairs and he does open the lock and gets out and goes running, and the grabber sees him. So at that point I thought like, oh, this is where he's rescued. In the trailer anyways, in the movie no. So the grabber actually tackles him down and has like the knife to his throat and tells him if he screams he's gonna gut him right there on the front porch of whoever's house they're in. So you see like all these neighbors like turning on their lights, but because they're like hiding in the shadows and he's holding the kid, they don't see him. So everyone goes back inside, and he just turns around and punches the poor kid back in the face. And he wakes up in the basement again. One of the guy from Sinister and It is in this film. He plays the grabber's brother, and there is this part where the cops go talk to him, and he's like this little cokehead who's like trying to find the killer. And I felt that they're trying to make it seem like the kid was trapped in the same house that he was in, and it's gonna turn around and it wasn't gonna be the same house, but it turns out it is. The guy from It is actually the brother of the grabber and is unaware that he has these boys in the basement. So at one point he does go downstairs and he finds the kid, and he's like, oh my god, he's like, I didn't know you were down here. So he's gonna try to save the little boy, and then fucking Ethan Hawke with the big axe comes and smacks him in the back of the head, kills him. And then this is when the final showdown happens. Before that had happened, he gets the call from his best friend Robin on the phone and tells him like how to fight like with a phone and shit so he can escape. He sets up these cute little booby traps all over the place. So Ethan Hawke brings in this big ass cute dog, and I was like, if I was that kid I'd be ready to kill that dog, but I was like, oh, I didn't want to hurt the dog. So he like chains the dog up by the door so the kid can't run upstairs, and he's telling him that this is it, he's gonna kill him. And then no, it's a very satisfying end where he like sets up this little booby trap so he's running away from the killer, the grabber. He gets the upper hand and starts beating the shit out of him with the phone. The grabber does get a hold of him, and you think like, oh fuck, this is it, but he knocks off his mask and he starts freaking out because he doesn't have the mask on, and then he starts beating with the phone, and then he totally like Jabba the Hutt's it by fucking wrapping the phone cord around his neck and just like pulling on it as hard as he could till he's like strangling the grabber, and then at one point he finally just pulls it hard and breaks his neck. And then yeah, and in between all that, the little sister's having premonitions and dreams of like where he's at. So the house that she sees in her visions, she gets the police there, but it ends up being the grabber's house across the street where he keeps all the bodies, and the ones alive he keeps across the street in the other house. So I thought it was really good. Like there were so many times where like every time he was attempting to escape, you're like, I hope this is it. Like, oh shit, is the grabber gonna pop out and catch him? And what's he gonna do to this kid if he sees him trying to escape? I thought the suspense was good. It didn't have a lot of too much cheesy like little jump scares or anything like that. The acting was really great. I thought the kids in it were really good. Like I said, I normally fucking hate movies with children in it when they're trying to like being badass kids. Like for example, Psycho Gorman. That movie was so fucking like irritating because of the children in that movie. I could not finish watching it because it was just so annoying. But the little girl, the little sister, and the brother in this, I actually really enjoyed watching them, and it just seems so relatable. Also, if you are triggered by like child abuse or family violence, this is probably one you want to skip out on, because there's this one scene where the dad's like all drunk and psychotic and he's beating the kids, and it's kind of like goes on for a while. And so it was kind of upsetting scene. So if that's something that triggers you, I would say don't check this out. It is just one scene. I mean, all the other abuse that the grabber does to the kids, you don't necessarily, it's never said or seen. I mean, it's just like you assume that's what he's going to do to these kids because he's a psycho. But anyways, I give it a 5 stars. I think a 5 out of 5. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great movie. The suspense, everything was super fun. Do parts of it get kind of cheesy. I mean, I suppose because he's talking to dead kids on the phone, Sister's having premonitions, but I don't feel like it was like over the top dumb like other movies have been. But anyways, if you're ever in a situation where you're kidnapped by someone, you should always be prepared and have something on you to protect yourself. And you could protect yourself too for 10% off using code terrorkrueger. I'll go ahead and leave that down in my link below. You can go ahead and use that code on bladesforbabes.com. They have the cutest fucking little blades and knives I have ever seen. Look at this. This blade is just super cute. It's kind of like rainbowy. The changes colored the light, so it's like all multicolored. This big ass black machete, and then oh my god, this little cute one. I showed it also last time. It just reminds me of like the raptor's claws from Jurassic Park. These are super cute. So funny story, I was actually had a gig the other week, and I have no friends, so I always I end up going to these gigs by myself all the time, and sometimes like they're all the way downtown. I park far because just parking sucks. So I'm walking in full drag by myself downtown. So a ghoul's always got to protect herself, and I was walking downtown with this blade out in my big pink ass dress, my big pink bow, just walking around carrying this knife around. Like if the cops stopped me, I was gonna be like, look at me, I need protection. But anyways, that's bladesforbabes.com. I'll go ahead and leave the link down below along with my code if you want to use it to get 10% off. I do get a small commission for anything you guys buy using my code. I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to also just tip me on Cash App, I would greatly appreciate that. But like I say, what I would always appreciate so much more is if you smash that like button, hit that bell for notifications, subscribe to this cult for future videos, and until the next time, this is Terror Krueger, and I'll see you ghouls later. Bye.